See me, E?
Yep. See you, my brother. What's going on?
Oh man, it's been a hard one, but I'm back. We back again. It's been a hard one, but we back again. As always, man. Standing stronger, standing taller, standing, ready to fight the fight, man. All is well. What about you?
Yeah, man. It's no other way, man. That's all I know, man. We move forward, man. We standing strong despite, whatever adversities and things we may encounter along the way. We standing strong, man. I mean, it's no other way. You know what I'm
Absolutely. So this is
saying?
Bldng Legacies podcast.
Mhm.
This is the second episode that we're on. We got a long road to climb. We got a long road to travel. We are only on our second episode, but it's a beautiful thing. I never felt this good about something in a long time. So this is a good podcast, and the feedback I've been getting, a lot of people that I've been speaking to on the phone. Number one, they've been telling me, look, don't come back on here with the bald face. That's number one. They told me don't come back on here without any facial hair. I said, I see a lot of people with no facial hairs, but they said, don't come back on here with no facial hairs. A
Hey,
lot of
yo,
people.
they like, who you think you was, LL?
I don't know. I don't know, man, but I followed the instructions, man, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just rock the gray. I'm gonna stay into the gray and I'm gonna rock the gray. I'm gonna just
Yeah.
with it, man.
You probably can't see my mate look like I got a bald face, man. It's just
Not well.
kind of low, you know what I mean?
Nah, last time, one of the other ones we did, that's when I went bald and you kept yours with local gray. And I said, wow, we did the reverse, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and stay with it, man. Even my little cousin, my Cody, I call him a little cousin, but my man said, listen, man, don't you ever let me see you again, man, like that. I had to let the joint grow, but everything is good, E?
Yeah, everything is great, man. I can't complain, man, because, like I said, we're blessed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always emphasize, man, coming from where we came from, the simple fact that we're here just having this conversation, doing this podcast, is a blessing in and of itself. I don't take nothing for granted, and I don't complain. One thing about anyone that knows me, man, I don't complain because I'm keenly aware of, my circumstances, what I've been through and where I'm at today. So I'm sure you can attest to that, man. So like I said, I'm doing well, my brother. You know what I'm saying? We here. I feel good.
Good, E, because well, listen, the things, the obstacles that I find in my own personal business, what I'm finding as far as the e-commerce, I told you, I immersed myself with Facebook advertising. I immersed myself with the Instagram advertising and the Google analytics as far as the Google SEO. And
Mm.
I'm implementing all of these different strategies, but sometimes, like I told you, I think I said it in our introduction, um, the price, the ratio as a sale. So what I like to do is the customer acquisition. I like to make sure that every time I spend $1 on advertising, I'm trying to get two or three back.
Right.
That's what I'm looking at. And if I don't see that return when I'm spending $1 on advertisement, I feel I'm going backwards.
Right.
So I got to get the ad that I place for my e-commerce store in front of as much eyes as I possibly can.
Mm.
I mean, I got to figure out what time should I place the ad. I got to figure out who's the demographic for this particular ad. That's my only obstacle that I've been having is that the ratio, the turnover hasn't been that great. The customer acquisition hasn't been that great. The reward hasn't been that great. The return for the amount of money that I'm spending hasn't been that great.
Right.
So I'm trying to restructure and reorganize in terms of that. I may change the design here or there. I've spoke to someone who said, really don't change your design. The design that you came out with is the design that you planted in the minds of people. I mean, when I first did it, what it's been 2, 3 years now, it was like thousands and thousands of people that was really commenting on the thing, and people were spending money. So it's like when it slowed down, I started to question myself, should I or shouldn't I change the outlook of the design as far as Gold Fingerprints is, the GF? And I think I tweaked it to a degree. But every time I tweak it to a degree, I go back and I say, maybe I can change it like this. Maybe I can do it like that. I tweaked it again and it's final. That's where it's going to be. And I'm going to keep it like that. But as far as acquiring customers and getting the ability to get the merchandise out there, I just been finding some roadblocks in that. So I'm still trying to figure out what is the best route for me to go as far as it comes to the apparel brand, because everybody got a brand, right?
Right.
Our brand is Bldng Legacies.
Right.
So on our website, people can go and they can buy the T-shirts that we've just put up on Bldng Legacies. They can buy the beginning merch that we put up there of Bldng Legacies.
Right.
So the time will tell as far as the show go and as far as the merchandise go, and we'll see exactly where we want to go as far as that. So that's the only things that I've been having in my own personal business. The writing is like
Mm.
I'm not going to stop till I get that Amazon bestseller or that New York Times bestseller. So I'm on the next book right now.
Mm.
As far as the fiction and the nonfiction, I'm on the second fictional work with the same detective, which name is Demetrius Blank, and I'm on the first nonfiction novel as far as the 30 affirmations, 30 daily affirmations that we should use to keep our
Mm.
lives going and to be
Right.
encouraged day by day. So that's going to be the first one I put out. But that's what's happening in my life, man. But what's been going on in trials and tribulations, or with you in the business as far as the trucking business go?
You know, trucking, man, and those that's in trucking, you know, probably count to the same thing, man. It's ups and downs. You know what I mean? More up than down, obviously. You know what I mean? But acquiring more trucks, um, dealing with insurance, because
Mm-hmm.
insurance in certain regions, sky high. The same thing with personal vehicles, but on a commercial level, you're paying a lot more. So I've just been going through that, man, just trying to. I actually just closed on actual policy, which was good. It took
Mm-hmm.
some time. I was kind of bouncing around trying to find the best situation. And I'm not fully done with that because, with anything, you're always looking for the best situation. You can never get content. You may get a policy, but you say, man, I could get a better one if I do X, Y, and Z. So I'm in that process now.
So just to
Um,
be clear, when you say policy, you talking about insurance for the truck?
yes, insurance policy, commercial insurance policy. So it's dealing with liability, general liability, cargo insurance, um, accidents, medical, all of that. You know what I mean? So and these premiums are obviously a lot higher than personal vehicle.
So you
So,
couldn't. So my question is, you couldn't add that onto the insurance for the first truck, or no?
well, I can, but the thing is with some insurance companies, they require an additional deposit, which some doesn't. Some will allow you to add the truck to your existing policy, and then they will adjust the or prorate the premiums, right? But then some uh, companies require an additional down payment, right? And what I've learned too, just briefly, when you're dealing with insurance companies on the commercial level, there's a middleman, and there's a middleman in everything, right? You have these finance companies; they got their hand in the cookie jar. So when you purchase, unless you're going directly through like maybe a major insurance company like Progressive or something like that, but if you're dealing with other smaller ones, you have these finance companies that they finance the the deal for it, then they can make their percentage. You get what I'm saying? It's like, so that's one thing I've learned, but obviously because of that third party, you pay more money. You know what I mean? They got more requirements. They
Mm-hmm.
require more of a down payment. So that's the only thing with that, but it's alternatives to actually purchasing a vehicle. You could rent one, and I just been kind of just playing with the ideas of renting as opposed to having in my fleet all of the trucks that I've actually purchased or that I'm owning. I could rent because what happens is it reduces your liability significantly when you're renting
Mm-hmm.
because when you own a truck, right now you're solely responsible for the
Yeah.
maintenance, the notes, everything, right? When you're renting, the rental company is responsible for the maintenance. I mean, you still got to pay your rental fee, but and this is another thing, which because sometimes with trucking, and you got multiple trucks, finding reliable drivers, right, is an obstacle, and unfortunately, uh, sometimes, man, you know, finding reliable guys is the challenge. So when you own the vehicle, or not own it, you're financing it. Whether you have a driver or not, you still have a payment to make, right? So a note and insurance. So if you don't have a driver and that truck is sitting in the parking lot, you're still responsible for these payments. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
not financially set, it can bankrupt you. So
Yeah.
this is certain things that I don't know, some of the viewers may be interested in getting into trucking. You have to take into account. And I'm going to build on a lot of other things too in regards to trucking. If anyone have any aspirations of getting into trucking, just what to do before you start,
Absolutely.
because you could start trucking and be out of business in a week if you do not set yourself up properly. Because there's so many things that could happen. You're dealing with a machine. You know what I'm saying? Things could break down. You don't have the emergency fund to sustain. You know what I mean? So many things I'm gonna get into it at a later date. But so that's where I'm at now.
So the driver, so when you have your trucks and you get another driver, are they on an hourly wage or they sharing a percentage of the loads that's delivered?
Well, I'm not currently going over the road. So my company consists of basically we doing home deliveries. So like
Okay.
you order that vanity or you order that sofa, you might see my truck pulling up to deliver it to you. You get what I'm saying? So we typically pay by the day. It's a fixed rate. So it's not like hourly, nothing like that. It's a fixed rate per day, well, per week, but it's
Mm-hmm.
broken down by the day. I mean, it's lucrative. You know what I mean? It requires a little, elbow grease. You know what I mean? You got to lift your sleeves up. You know what I mean? You got to be built for it because you have your moments where you have to, your lower back got to be strong, But 90% of the time, it's easy. Just drop, go, drop, go. Then you have this 250-pound vanity that got to go up to the second floor.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I provide, the equipment and everything, but it's still, I don't care what equipment you got. That's 250 pounds.
So is it so well, you can handle it. I know you can put the whole thing on your back.
Oh, yeah.
No. Well, watch this. Is it because I heard somebody say this before, it's a difference. I heard a friend of mine say before that he was doing it in a way where they load up the truck and he takes it somewhere and they unload the truck. Or it's a way where you personally have to load the truck yourself and unload the truck, the merchandise yourself. Is it those two different ways or it's just
Yeah. No, it's two different ways depending on what company you're working for. Like I'm networking with the company where it's just basically they can load you up, but you got to be careful with that because a lot of time they load you up with these forklifts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damaging your truck. You get what I'm saying? And
Wow.
so certain things you got to think about before you allow that forklift going in and out your
Oh,
truck.
so you know what's going to be loaded on there before you actually get to the location.
No, well, not necessarily. You'll get
Oh,
there. Sometimes things are just wrapped up in pallets. You don't know
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is at all.
yeah,
You have no
yeah,
idea what is it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
they can load you up using a forklift. But like I said, that could damage your truck over time. So I mean, you got some people that's the route they choose where they no touch freight. They get loaded, they get unloaded, they go home. But what I do currently is touch freight. You touching everything. You know what I mean?
To the
Um,
loading and unloading.
yeah, you loading and unloading. You know what I mean? But like I said, for the most part, it's easy. Light, but you have your moments.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna get a little more into that, man. For anyone, the viewers, the audience, man, interested in getting into trucking, doing specifically what I do, because the opportunities are limitless. I'm talking
Yeah,
about like, yeah,
absolutely. There's a brother out there that I see on social media all the time. I forgot his name, but he does the trucking. He came home. He started doing the trucking, and he looks out for a lot of brothers that come home as far as in the trucking business. And I know that's your lane. So every time and I've been trying to reach out as well, get in touch with him because I would love to have him on to get his perspective.
right,
I'll be quiet during that so you and him can talk, right? But yeah, so it's just the struggles. It's just the struggles, and it's the everyday uh, uh, ups and downs of becoming an entrepreneur. You know, the road is long and the road is long. But for me, I take account and remember everybody, what they said and what they done, how instrumental they are in helping me get to the next level, or how instrumental they was in slowing me down and preventing me and stopping me from getting to that level, you know? So the road is very bumpy and you just got to stay patient, like you said, and you got to stay diligent to continue to move forward.
Right.
Um, in the apparel game, there's so many different ways that you can do. You can use a third party production. Um, in my case, you can use a third party production where it's print on demand, where every article that's ordered is printed. That particular item is printed specifically for you for your specifications. But the delivery time is a little later, so it may take 7 to 10 days.
Right.
Whereas you can go to different places like Alpha Brodo or different wholesale places where you can get the t-shirts or the hoodies or the sweatsuits at a discount. Then again, you got to either have your own production at home where you're printing your logo on them, and every time you get an order, you can send them out. That's a good method to go because you can get the mailing quicker, but you still putting in the labor, putting on the decal or putting on the DTG yourself to send it out.
Right.
Me myself, I personally like the print on demand uh, aspect of garments. I like the print on demand aspect when it comes to apparel because it's basically hands off for you. All you do is create the designs and you upload it on your site and someone comes and order it. I like that better. The only thing that I don't like about it is the long delivery time, which is 7 to 10 days. We live in a society where they want it between 1 to 2 to 3 business days.
Right.
You know, so that long wait time is really has, even though I like that method, it really has me wanting to change the method and have the merchandise on hand. But when you make that decision to have the merchandise on your hand, you got to look at all the variables involved. You got to spend upfront money
Right.
for the merchandise
Right.
without any guarantee that it's going to be sold, you know? So
Right.
you might be sitting on the merchandise. The
Mm.
way that I use, all you have to do is advertise and get people to come on and buy it, you know, and you just got to make sure what your spend to your gain ratio is, and you can probably see a reward from it. But it's all about social media advertising, even when it comes to this podcast here. The more eyeballs get to see it, the more people get interested in the information that we're bringing and what we're talking about, and our numbers will go up. So listen, I'm always saying this every episode. I want people to like, subscribe, and share to Bldng Legacies, and it's on all
Comment.
social.
Right.
Huh?
No, I'm saying comment as well. You know that before you
Absolutely.
get that
Like,
feedback.
subscribe, comment, and share. Like, subscribe, comment, and share, and get the word out because we're trying to get enough followers so that it can be beneficial for us and our time to bring the information to you, and and we can get it to a point where um, it can bring value enough where people will want to come on and watch us. So we want you to like, subscribe, and share. We want you to also get these numbers up. We want to get these numbers up at least to 5,000 before we can move forward. We knocking 2,000 down. We so
Mm.
people are subscribing daily, you know. So we're
Right.
gonna provide you with more information and content along the way.
Mm.
So besides that, I just want to ask you this one question. This
Yeah.
is a very important question, man, because it's not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart. Becoming an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart.
Not at
Me,
all.
my goal is, I don't know all of my family finances, right, or my immediate or extended. So I'm gonna just make a statement. I want to be, if I am the first millionaire in this family. Maybe it can be to my immediate family, or I don't know, because I come from a family of hard workers. You know, they really work hard and they get the things they accumulated. And I don't say that to brag or boast. I say that because if one of us can attain that status, then the road for the rest of us become that much more easy. You know, when the next person have an idea, the next person have an idea, we can come together and now we can facilitate that idea. Hopefully that can be a success and we can work on the next one. But I don't want to sit back and I've never wanted to sit back and just be regular. No disrespect. I don't mean to say regular. I mean content with just going to work every day, receiving a paycheck, coming back, living paycheck to paycheck, and you don't have anything extra, you know. In that, there is a way for you to save money, and we're gonna get into that, but this is not for the faint of heart, becoming an entrepreneur. And the passion to become an entrepreneur was my number one thing, and that was financial freedom. Financial freedom is what drives me and what gets me up in the morning. Financial freedom. So I wanted to ask you, what is your passion? What gave you the passion to say, you know what? Because you got the skills, you got already the credentials to work and service, you know, in these different industries that you got your degrees and your certifications from. But what gave you the passion to want to jump out and become an entrepreneur?
You hit it right on the head, man. It's the freedom, right? Because for me, that's the language I speak, freedom, right? I don't even speak money as much as I speak freedom.
Okay.
It's in casual conversation because I know that the difference between the two. Now,
Absolutely.
money in and of itself does not equate to freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You got a lot of rich slaves, right?
Ah,
So the language I speak is freedom. So for me, it's all about freedom. Ever since I was a young kid, man, having opportunities, just briefly, man, just coming up in the neighborhood, man, you got these older guys got it going on. You can go work for them or something. I was opposed to that. You get what I'm saying? I mean, initially, yeah, you know how you start out, but I'm talking about as a kid, about 15, I'm not doing that. You can't give me anything, right? Because I want the freedom. You know what I'm saying? So that's what drives me. And my brain been wired that way since then. It's more so about the freedom, right? I'll take less money, right? But to have my freedom. And if I feel like my freedom is being infringed on,
mm-hmm.
it does something to me. And even in business, if you're not careful about that concept, you'll end up back in a position. You have to catch yourself. Wait a minute, I own my business. What are y'all doing? Because some of these companies, particularly a trucking, they could think they own you or own your truck. But you have to keep in mind, I'm an independent contractor, right? I've experienced that already. And immediately I felt like my freedom was being infringed on. And that bothers me. So that's what drives me.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom. You know what I'm saying? But I also know how money contributes to it.
Yeah.
But for me, freedom is the goal. So it's different ways that I'm going to get there so that I'm financially free. And I'm talking about freedom in every aspect of life. So that's what drives me. And it's funny that you're on the same wave, being that you mentioned that financial freedom and being cognizant. Because like I said, I experienced it in business where other companies try to put you back in a position. You're like, wait a minute, I'm my own business. Y'all don't own me. You get what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute, let's make sure this is understood. Our relationship here.
Yeah.
This is a business to business relationship, not a business and employee or employer employee relationship. And that's not a knock to working people, employers, employees, man. And very quickly, you have individuals with, just regular 9 to 5 job, right? And they think that they're secure in that reality. Now, there's a false sense of security. And once I understood that, I'm like, I'd rather take my own chances, right? Because, at any minute, right, you do the wrong thing, your boss could fire you.
Absolutely.
So when you're in a predicament like that, that's not secure. You're really insecure. You just don't realize it.
You just don't realize it.
You
Absolutely.
don't realize it. So for me, I say, you know what? I might as well go and do something for myself, work for myself. But
ownership is the key, man.
Ownership is the key. But this is the catch. Me, I eat what I kill. You get what I'm saying? If I don't kill, I don't eat.
Yeah.
But I like that. And I think we had a conversation before, as you know, the uncertainty that comes along with self-employment or entrepreneurship, the anxiety you feel
Uh,
daily, because you keenly aware of the insecurity and uncertainty. See, the employee, he's in that same predicament, but he don't know it.
yeah, absolutely.
He's in that same predicament because
Yeah,
you do the wrong thing, they're gonna put you on probation, they're gonna give you a warning and all that kind of stuff,
absolutely.
and then you're fired. Right?
Absolutely.
So with me, with entrepreneurship, self-employment, you know, you eat what you kill every day. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like as men, this is just from my perspective, that's the you should never feel secure in the arms of no one else anyway.
Working for I be working for someone else, and I 100% agree.
I don't
Now, you
like
can work with someone,
you
but
work with
for them, you're not independent enough to make your own decisions,
right,
and your livelihood, the very food that you put on the table, is in jeopardy the minute
right.
you get out of line. The minute you think that you're doing the right thing, but it's perceived as the wrong thing, and I just can't sleep at night knowing that that rug can be pulled from up under you.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. And I remember at a job, I had got a warning one time, right? And it was something minor, right? But it was a strict environment, and they gave me a warning, like, and in that moment, I'm like, wow. So my next infraction, I'm fired, right? So that was a reality check, even though I knew, but that just put things into perspective even more for me. Like, wow, for this, and I think this is a minor infraction. And then I had a coworker that got fired for a minor infraction, and literally, I'm like, I come to work the next day, he's gone. What happened? He got fired. I'm like, for what? So it's like, wow, for that. So, you know,
That could be me.
exactly, and that reality stuck with me. So I'm like, man, this is a temporary situation for me, and it's going to serve a purpose. It's a means to an end for me. Because, like I said, man, for me, like every day, you know what I mean. I have to do what's necessary for me to earn. Like I have to put things into position. I have to network. I have to make the calls. I have to get the contracts. Everything's on me. You know what I mean? And that's how it always been for me, even since a young guy. You
That's
know what I mean?
true.
So just getting back to your point, it's about the freedom. And if I could briefly mention this, because it's coming from the background we came from. I remember being about 15 years old,
Hmm.
and it was a guy getting a lot of money, selling drugs down the block, and I knew a lot of guys my age that were working for him, right? And I was up the block or down the block doing my own little thing, me and my crew, right? And we wasn't, we at the time we thought we was balling, we wasn't doing nothing. So I remember having a conversation with one of the young guys that was down the block working for the older guy. So he like, yo, E, listen, won't you come down here with us? I'm like, why would I give up my freedom and independence for money? Even at 15 years old, I never forget the conversation. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Cause I'm like, listen, number one, he oppressing y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all under pressure when he pull up.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When he pull up, everybody get on attention. I said, I don't deal with that. You understand? So my brain been wired since then.
Since then.
Just for the audience, right, and viewers, occasionally I may make these references, because this is the background I come from. I don't want it to
Hmm.
be misconstrued at all. We don't promote that on this channel.
Absolutely.
This is just something where we came from, and this is just my frame of reference. But with me, I know how to tie it in, in terms of just
Painting the picture, painting a better picture.
painting the picture. So I just want to make that clear. But yeah, so it was the freedom, man. You know what I mean? So like I said, and we on the same page. We used to build extensively. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
About this, you know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
It's
But I
no,
like that explanation because I always say financial freedom, which means I connected to finance and freedom. But you gave that, you broke that down well as far as freedom, because it really doesn't matter how much you cure. If you're a slave to it, you're not free.
you know.
So that's true. And I like this statement. I heard Mark Cuban say this. You know I love Shark Tank, right? I heard Mark Cuban say that. I don't know if it's from him or somebody else, but he did say, I would rather work 100 hours a week making $50,000 for myself,
That's right.
right? Working for myself than working 40 hours a week making $100,000 from somebody else.
That's right.
And that's exactly how I feel. I would rather put that time, sweat, and tears, that energy into building something of my own. I just always been that way like you when I was young. Go ahead.
Right. And I mean to cut you out, just I got
Yeah.
a random thought.
Mm-hmm.
See, the thing is this. When you at a job, right, there's a ceiling, right? As far as in terms of pay. Like
Yeah.
I remember getting a job. They told me right away when I was getting paid for the year. Like right there, he told me. Or she told me. So I'm like, that was my cap. I mean,
Yeah.
I did crazy overtime. But
Yeah.
that idea don't sit right with me. See, when you free, you could grow and expand as far as your mind will allow you to.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's no limit when you're free.
Absolutely.
And you move on your own accord.
Mm-hmm.
The farthest you can expand your mind is the furthest you could go. But when you at a job, you're capped.
Absolutely.
Right? For instance, like I see people, you know, with jobs, and I know how much you make. I can add it up. What you make an hour? How many hours a week? I can add up what you make. You can't do that with me. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You can't do that necessarily with me. So, but like I see people with jobs and, you know, chest out and, you know, on social media. I'm like, I know how much you make. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And just to be clear, I'm with you, and I know people gonna be with you. Just to be clear, we ain't knocking people that do.
no,
We're not knocking the people that do because we know that 90%, right, of this world that's what keeps the world spinning. That's what keeps the world going. I know a lot of people who are comfortable with just working and doing what they do. Like you said, that cap. They know where they at. They know what they're gonna get every week. Like clockwork, they know how to spend it and what to do, right? But you're limited to that particular thing. You got to put 20 to 30 years, whatever it is, on that. Then when you get there, they want to give you a lot of grief about what they're going to give you back. You know what I'm saying? Or it's crazy. So I'm a proponent, like you're a proponent, and this is why we're together, of that. We're a proponent of being self-motivated, self-educated, and independently, I say financially free, and you say freedom, right? It's all one and the same.
yeah, we speaking the same language.
We speak in the same language. So it's like, I agree with you, but yeah, man, it's like, I'm never going to be comfortable no matter how successful we become or I become personally and call content. Because I'm not just doing it because we all want nice things. We all want the nice homes. We want the nice cars. We want to be able to go where we want to do what we want. But in that, it's the ability to introduce other people into the mindset of thinking independently and being free, like you said.
Right.
That's 80% of the pleasure for me. Sharing information with people to say, you know what, have you ever looked at it like this? Have you ever thought about it from this perspective?
Mm-hmm.
Not the worker's perspective, but from the owner's perspective, because you can do the same thing. It may be on a more minute scale until you get traction, but you can be the same individual and you may be better at it than the person that you're paying homage to. Look, as you say, a job. I was on a job here one time, telling you, man, every day you go in there, everybody have to come, line up. You know what I mean? They doing the stretches. Everybody's stretching. They getting you ready. I already know because it's going to be a long night. But in my mind, I'm already saying, you know, I'm going to be a piece of, you know, I already know me. My work ethics when it comes to that is in the trash, B. I ain't not going above and beyond for you. I'm just not going to do it. So, but every day you got to go in, stretch, you got to work, get your mind right. And they tell you the day before what was the production, right? And they tell you the production. And then, so my first experience, and everybody clapping. listen, clapping at the level of production that was done the night before. Then when it's done, they say, well, listen, we got to beat that. We
Right.
got to go here. And yeah, and so in my mind while I'm working, I'm looking and I'm watching, right? Boom. Managers, I see them looking at me because they looking at me like this. We don't know what we're going to do with him, but his days are numbered, right? I already know it.
Right.
But watch this. And I'm looking from the speech. I'm looking at the production, and that joint is ramped up, man. More so than the night before because mentally, they told you that you did a good job. So you ramping up the production, right? And it's like, yo, man, we're paying pennies on the dollar, B. You know
Right.
what I mean? Up in the, and so I'm looking and I already know. I'm like, nah, I don't belong here. This is not where I want to be. And even in conversations with people, beautiful people, I love them when I meet them. And it's like, we don't speak the same language. You know what I mean? So it's like, either I'm going to quit or I'm going to get fired. That has been my experience. One's going to come or the other's going to come. It's just a matter of time. I'm going to get tired of like I'm going, or they're going to be like, all right, he's not producing it. He got to go. But I'm going to tell you something. I look at it from the other perspective too, as if I owned a company and I had hundreds of workers or, a bunch of workers. Do I want them to think like me or do I want them to think like the people who are producing? You
Right.
feel what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it from both spectrums. I'm not mad or I'm not hating anybody. I understand
Right.
that you need production to keep things going. The bottom line, you need it in order to make more. You got to produce more. But I just know, always knew, even when I was young, just like you, this is not the place for me. I can't break my back for you. If I'm gonna break my back for anybody, it's gonna be me. And if I fall flat, I just fall flat.
Right. Yeah. And because the reality of it is, man, your employer has expectations of you. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to work hard. I remember I encountered a guy, man. We was doing a delivery. I was talking to him. And he was like, man, that's your truck. I'm like, yeah, that's my truck. My name on the side of it. I'm like, yeah, that's my truck. He was like, nah. He said, listen, man, doing a good thing. He was like, man, because one thing about it, you're going to work hard either way. So either you work for yourself or you work, so you choose.
Yeah.
Right? And when he said that, it stuck with me. He was like, yeah, I don't blame you. You're going to work hard either way. Probably harder for somebody else because they trying to get maximum value out of you, right? Because they're paying you every minute. You can't slack a minute, right?
Absolutely.
So, but as we know, everything is not for everybody. A friend of mine says that a lot. And that's just the reality of it. Everyone doesn't have the fortitude, the endurance, mental endurance that's required because, like I said, every day you wake up, you got to kill what you eat, man. So
Absolutely.
It's that uncertainty, the anxiety, right? Every day. Like every day you wake up because everything's dependent on you. But that's all I ever known. So I'm conditioned a certain way. So, but most people, they went a different route. So they can't fathom having to, do things and actually be responsible for their own thing. But they'll do it on a high level for somebody else. Because you see at these jobs, you're the manager, you're the supervisor, you're working hard. You
Absolutely.
are filling in the place of the boss.
Absolutely.
To a degree, he hired you to do his job, the boss.
Absolutely.
As a manager or supervisor. You're working hard. You could do that same thing for yourself.
I agree. 100. Hey, watch this. 100%, E. And I always focus on this aspect because I had to do it plenty of times. When you go get a job, I have these conversations with people. When you're going to be hired from somebody else, you on your best behavior. It's like you meeting the first woman of your life. Like you the best person in the world. You giving them everything that's good of you, right? And it may not even fit the bill, but you're going to do it. So when you're going to get these jobs, you selling yourself. Oh, I'm a hard worker. I'm on time. You know, I don't miss too many days off of work. I don't take too many sick days. I'm attentive. I'm very knowledgeable. I'm a quick learner. Like you sell yourself so much to get a job from somebody else, but the minute somebody say to you, you know you can do this yourself, or you know you can work for yourself, they find every excuse in the book to
Right.
not sell themselves to themselves. You
Right.
feel what I'm saying? They can't sell themselves to themselves and they can't sell themselves to you. They find every excuse of why they can't do it. But in order to go get a job, they build themselves up to a degree where they're shining in the sky so that someone can hire them. And then so that's just the reality that we're facing. Like you said, it's not built for everyone. But this podcast, this idea me and you came up with, Bldng Legacies, we are what we say that we are. We are giving you examples of what it is we experience, and we're also showing you that you too can take a chance. If somebody like us can take a chance and say, I'm gonna throw caution to the wind and I'm gonna try to succeed, we all know you got to pay bills, put food on the table. But don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your ability to live the best life that you can possibly live. And so with that, I'm gonna just say, no, like, subscribe, and share. And as always with this podcast, we want to try to make sure we bring you the best information possible.
It's,
Anything else you want to say?
no, man. No, just I hope viewers, audience members, able to get some value out of the content. Yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of things, in the upcoming episodes, man. This will be helpful, man. And it's all about just a mindset, a shift, a paradigm shift, right? And so we could get as a people, as a collective, right, on a path of financial freedom, as you mentioned, independence, wealth building, legacy building. You know what I mean? So we could raise from just the consumer culture, right, in this society, to more of a producing culture. So I just want to close with that. Just keep following us, like, subscribe, share, share, comment, because the feedback is very important, man. We want to bring value to you guys. Let us know what you want to hear, what we could do better. You know what I'm saying? That is welcome. We humble, is welcome. So I'm close with that.
And with that, my man E has dropped the mic on that. Bldng Legacies, man, podcast. Listen, like, subscribe, and share, like he said, and comment. That's important. Let us know what you're looking for. Let us know that what you don't think you're receiving, and that's how we can tighten up and bring you the best information. So as always, man, we come with love. Peace.